All right, well, we had some technical difficulties, so there will not probably be any of you joining, but I'm going to at least record the session. And then we will post it on playback and go from there, because for reasons unknown to me, the actual link for the live in the scheduler was deleted. So this is what happens in the world of lives. Things change, things get rearranged, and we just go from there. So I'm just going to give a minute for this information to get pushed out to people, which is really unfortunate because I had a hot topic today on the difference between groups and teams. But I'm just going to go through what I had, and like I said, we're going to share it out with all of you, and I apologize for those of you that booked time in your day to watch me live and in person. So the topic for today is, what is the difference between a group and a team, and are you a group or are you a team, and what if you want to change? Sometimes being a group is okay, but if we're working in an organization and we're calling ourselves a team, then we really need to be a team. So the definition of a group is that people come together for a common purpose. But isn't that what a team does as well? So I think that a lot of times those two things get very muddled. And in organizations, we often think that if we just put people together and tell them that they're working on the same thing, so you all are going to build this product, or you are going to write this new policy, or you're going to create the handbook, or you're going to do whatever. We just put people together in a group, and there's the misconception that that means that they will inherently become a team. And for a team to be a team, there are quite a few other things that have to take place. So, for example, the team has to be coming together with a common set of values. Now, that does not mean that if you have 10 people on the team, all 10 people have to think and act and be the same thing. Everyone comes with their own perspectives and their own way of looking at problems and their own personal background. So that's not what we're saying. But what we are saying is that people need to come together with a common shared set of values as the team that is working together. And when you find a group of people that cannot agree on those core common values, that's when you don't have a team and you don't have the ability to come together as a team. So one of the things that I work with groups on when they want to become a high-performing team is, no matter where they are in their journey as a group of people working on a common purpose, is we take several steps back to the beginning if they are not a new team. And if they are a new team, we start at this point. And what we do is we create the charter, if you will, of what this team stands for. So we define the team purpose, the goals, the vision, the values, what everyone brings to the team. So what it might be, skills, personalities, all the different things that we bring to the team, where we have strengths as a group of people, and where we might have deltas or deficiencies. I tend to not use the word weaknesses because people don't come into a group wanting to be weak. But we may have some deficiencies in the skills or the types of tools that we bring to the group to accomplish the common goal. So we put all of that together, and you're making a family, if you will, with a home instead of group of people in a building. So you're creating that shared common bond together of how you want to be as a team. How do you want to show up? How do you want other people to see you? And then you have something to refer back to. And one of the things that I do in my workshops is we do a team canvas. We talk about a team canvas. where it's a one pager if you've never done a Canvas, and you fill in all of these common elements. And there are a variety of techniques that we use. You can have people do it on their own and see what they think, and then come together and put the ideas that everyone brings together. Or you work on each section together, or you can break out depending on the size of the group. So there are a lot of different techniques that we work on for how you create this canvas, and the canvas itself is not the point. Remember, the point is to define who the group wants to be and how they want to show up as a team. So that's where we start. We define ourselves. And that would be no different if you joined a club or a committee or went to an organization to join a community. You would want to know what are the core values and principles and how are you expected to show up. From there, then the team can go through and put together its team agreement. How do we want to interact? What's okay and what's not okay when we show up under this umbrella of values that we created? You can even ditch those old performance appraisals. I do a whole talk about that as well. Ditch those performance appraisals, and instead, as a team, how do we want to grow and evolve? And instead of coming up with a bunch of bogus things like we filled in our timesheets on time or whatever else people put in performance assessments that don't have a whole lot of value, we can work on those things that maybe we identified as deficiencies or areas where we need to be stronger as a team. And we can define what we want to do over the next period of time to grow and to enhance those values as we come together as a team. The next thing then that you would do as a team is the communication plan. So really thinking about how we are going to talk to each other. So first we put together our canvas. What do we look like as a team? When we put it on paper and we define who we are, what do we look like as a team? How do we want to show up as a team? What's okay and what's not okay with our daily interactions? And what are we going to do about it if that doesn't work? And then how are we going to communicate together? How are we going to interact? And that can be, simple things like when to use email and when to use chat and when to be on a video, but it can also be about the types of interactions and the types of expectations we have for our communication style and our team culture. And if you start building with those three things, the team charter, who we are, what our values are, the team agreement, or some people call it a work agreement, how do we want to show up, what's okay and what's not okay, and then the communication plan, how are we going to interact, how are we going to make sure that everyone on the team gets included, then we start to see more of a team and not a bunch of people who are assigned to sit in one part of the office or who charge to a specific charge code or who build a specific product. We start to see that family culture evolve. Now, as we know, in families, there are dysfunctions. And you're going to have dysfunctions in the team as well. None of this means we're going to suddenly have this rosy, kumbaya experience and nothing's ever going to go wrong. But what those three things do is they set you up to be able to recover from that dysfunction when it happens. So again, the three things: your team canvas, who we are; your team agreement, how do we want to show up or not show up; and your communication plan, how do we as a team want to communicate, are the three stepping stones to getting started. For those of you that are interested, on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a talk with 50 in Tech, and we've shared the registration details on all of our pages about, now that we're in that collaborative space as a team, how do we ensure that everyone has a voice and no one gets left out because some people are a little more aggressive with their communication style than others? How do we give everyone a voice in collaborative spaces? So that's coming up on Thursday. And all of this, if you haven't noticed, there's been a pattern to the lives that we've been doing, and they're all about communication and teamwork and how we present ourselves and how we interact with each other, which is so important no matter where we work. All of that is part of this concept of location independent collaboration and teamwork. And if you are feeling stuck, you've listened to the lives, you've been reading my posts, our blogs, I do offer breakthrough sessions for anyone who wants to take some time to talk to me. And we're going to talk about where you're stuck and come up with some potential quick wins that you can do right now to get unstuck. And see where that takes you. So if anyone does feel like, okay, I'm hearing what she's saying, she's giving me all of this good information, but I'm still struggling to kind of put it together and figure out where I am, then please reach out and I will get you scheduled for a breakthrough call. I do about 4 of them for free every week. So we want to make sure that we get you set up for success. We've done 3 live so far, and we will be doing 3 more each Tuesday at this same time, and hopefully we won't have the technical detail or difficulties next time. And we're going to continue to talk about this concept of how we show up as a team and how we collaborate and how we interact. So stay tuned. Again, I apologize that we had technical difficulties today. We will share this so you'll get it on the replay. And hopefully next week we will be live and in person, and I will be able to take your questions. But in the meantime, if you do have questions, post them. I will answer them as quickly as possible. And please, if you do need that breakthrough session, reach out to me. I'll send you the link to get it scheduled, and let's see if we can't work through some of those problems. But in the meantime, keep working on being a team, not a group of random people, and I will see you next week for another live. Bye.